When looking at social psychology from a very simple point, we can't help but ask the simple question of why do people help? Is it a pro-social behavior, an act performed with the goal of benefiting another person? Altruism, the desire to help another even if it involves the cost of the helper? As psychologists, we've broken this down into three theories: the evolutionary psychology, the social exchange theory, empathy altruism hypothesis. First, we're going to look at the social exchange theory. Not connected to evolutionary theories and survival, but helping others is out of self-interest. Behavior often stems from the desire to maximize reward and minimize costs. Helping can be rewarding. Helping can also be costly. Whether or not you depend on the reward and costs you face, convenience can also be a factor. For our first experiment, we took your average college student and had him drop his wallet in different areas of campus, in front of males, females, as well as older and younger people, just to kind of see what the reactions of people would be. We were hoping to find that people would find empathy, the ability to put oneself in the shoes of another person and experience events and emotions the way that that person experiences them. Initially, there really is no cost of helping, other than maybe a little bit of lost time. But there is some reward, just the satisfaction of helping out another fellow student. Let's take a dive and see how honest people at Carthage really are. For our first experiment, we wanted to see how someone would first initially react by themselves, with no one else around. The bystander immediately responded and helped our experimentee. After talking with the bystander, he told us that the reason he helped was because he himself would hope that someone would at least do the same for him. The bystander is showing genuine empathy. He's really putting himself in the shoes of our experimentee, and not thinking of how he could gain in any which way for himself individually. Our next subject was your typical frat bro. It was actually his birthday, 21st birthday to be exact, and he was indeed intoxicated, but still made the right decision in helping out our experimentee with his wallet. He had a very similar response when we asked him why he helped our experimentee. He was just hoping that someone had the common courtesy to help him out if anything ever happened to him. Our third victim to the dirty wallet trick was a girl in the union, but her response was a little different than our last two. She was more or less very excited and glad that she could be the person to give him his wallet back, and then continued on stating how if someone else were there, he wouldn't have been so lucky. This girl shows more pride and basically gives herself the reward in this situation. But needless to say, she still gave it back and had right intentions. I would say this is a more egoistic motive, other than the other ones who seem to be a little more sympathetic. We wanted to use another female to then see how the results compared. In this scenario, it was the exact opposite. Although she as well immediately responded to the dropped wallet, the attitude was completely different. She wasn't looking for a reward, she had more sympathy and wasn't very ego-based driven at all. The helping behavior in humans is a result of a naturally selected predisposition that is activated and influenced by cognitive and social processes. There seem to be two motives for helping: our desire for concrete rewards, or just the connectedness with others. For our last experiment, we decided that we wanted to get someone in a different age group. So we found these older looking professors that were just sitting down having lunch. Initially, it looks like the gentleman just did not see the wallet fall, but we decided to add change just to make sure that the wallet was loud,
fell right in front of them, and they were able to see it. The third gentleman couldn't help but watch it as he sat down. I guess the old men of Carthage aren't so honest. But I'm sure they were in deep conversation, trying to figure out who was older, them or the earth. It is said that evolutionary principles suggest that some forms of helping, such as reciprocal helping, have been naturally selected because they increase survival. In humans, however, cognitive and social processes mediate such biological driven helping. Help may be motivated by perceived rewards for the helper, or deterred by perceived costs or risks. These rewards and risks can be emotional. People sometimes help to alleviate their own distress at the victim's suffering, reflecting egoism. People are often motivated by a feeling of empathy to relieve another's suffering, reflecting altruism, because it's not motivated by even indirect or emotional rewards for the helper.